The following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbb-radio.com.
Hey, welcome to Teed Up with Phil and Cindy. Hi, Cindy.
Hey, Philly.
We have a really special guest today.
So special.
We have Nick and Tessa Groff.
That's
right. You got it. Nailed it.
How many times do I
Nick
mess
and
up
Tessa.
people's names?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. Yep.
It is. We are going to have so much fun. The conversation today. We've been looking forward to seeing.
I was
both
here
of you.
early. Are you kidding me? I'm so excited. Beyond.
I don't want to say for once you were here. No, I don't want to say.
Yeah.
You're always early.
Better be careful.
But it's really good, and we're going to have fun.
So good.
And before we get into it, notice I have my Sabre stuff on.
Yep, let's go
I know this will
Buffalo.
air after game 2, but game day, let's go Buffalo.
Let's go.
But Nick and Tessa, welcome to Teed Up with Phil and
Thank
Cindy.
you for having us.
Excited to
Yeah.
have you guys here.
We're just going to go a little bit over
Yep.
your bios, and then we're going to get right into having a conversation and talking about why you're here and what you guys are up to. So Nick has spent over 20 years investigating the paranormal on television, beginning with the creation of what is widely recognized as the most well-known paranormal show in the world, Ghost Adventures. Nick went on to create film, and produce and host Paranormal Lockdown, a groundbreaking series that broke viewership records worldwide and redefined how investigations are conducted on television. Wow. Nick is also the creator and host of Deathwalker, a globally airing paranormal series currently streaming worldwide alongside his wife, Tessa, and a renowned psychic medium. The two work collaboratively on paranormal series, cases, and live events. The paranormal couple have a brand new reality series scheduled to air worldwide this year. Tessa is a world-renowned psychic medium who has developed her abilities since childhood. She's widely regarded as one of the top mediums working today with features across television, radio, podcast, YouTube, and live show. Tessa's provided readings and guidance to celebrities, individuals around the world, and has used her abilities to assist in criminal investigations, cold cases, and ongoing law enforcement work. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
That
was a great intro. You're hired, Phil.
That was
remarkable.
Who wrote that? No.
That is absolutely remarkable. We are so glad you guys are
my
here.
God, so
And
glad.
before we even say anything else, I want to thank you for having me in your latest feature. I know,
absolutely.
and we're going to get into that
We're
a
gonna
little
talk
bit.
about that.
We're going to talk about that. But
Oh
let
my
it
gosh.
rip, Cindy. She's been so excited.
I've been on the edge of my freaking seat all week. So I guess the first question would be is, now were you guys child sweethearts?
No.
Or how did you meet each other?
Soulmate driven. I think
We should
definitely
have
we
been.
were forever.
Yeah, we
right?
should have
just
been
didn't find
childhood
each other until
sweethearts.
later in life. So
Are you guys both from Niagara Falls?
No, she
So I
is.
know Tessa is.
Yeah, I grew up here.
Where are you from?
Well, I was born in San Jose, California. My parents decided to put me in the back seat when I was 1 year old and drive across the country to New Hampshire. So right outside of Boston is where I grew up. And then I went to UNLV, Las Vegas, from California. So I've been all over the place.
Wow.
So
And so then
specifically
you guys
East
came
Coast.
together later in life. So did you have your gifts? I like to call them gifts. Did you have your gifts, like, did you guys know each other, like, through that or no?
No, I mean, surprisingly, I didn't have any idea who he was. So when COVID hit, I had a podcast because I was doing live shows. I was doing casino shows, things like that. COVID hit, did a podcast, and a friend of ours, a mutual friend, was like, do you want me to bring Nick Groff on, with me? And I was like, I don't know who that is. I was like, but yeah, sure, whatever. That sounds cool. So I completely screwed up. I think I named the wrong show and everything that he was from. And yeah, it was
And it was love
embarrassing.
at first sight, right? You're
Yeah.
like, I love this girl. Yeah.
I had no
Wow.
idea. And I think like the first thing he asked me had nothing to do with paranormal. He literally was like, do you like rap music? I was like, hell yeah, I do.
Wow.
And that's how we started talking.
Gotta
and
check those boxes off immediately.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, I mean, my ability, gift, whatever you want to call that, I knew I've had it since I was a kid. Like I'm talking 3-4 years old. I think I was born with it. I think my grandmother had the ability. I know my mom does. And we both had near-death experiences as a kid. So I do think that those experiences enhance whatever ability you're born with. And then that just kind of, it never went away. I mean, I have numerous experiences that I could talk about as a kid where I didn't fully understand it. Going to school was weird, you know, trying to explain to people that I could see dead people. So that was fun. And then that just like developed over the years. I tried to be normal, tried to go to school, tried to get like a degree. I got a master's degree and everything. I tried to go for teaching like my dad, and went for a master's in clinical mental health counseling. I really tried to be normal.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work out. I felt like I could help people more so away from like a clinical setting, and felt like maybe I would get fired from school or something if I was giving readings in like the lunchroom.
So when you were younger, did you have somebody that you could talk to about what you were seeing? Was your grandma, were you able to talk to your grandma about it, or did you have to keep it like to yourself? Because that's got to be hard as a little kid growing up. With seeing, I mean, would you actually see actual people like this is what I was wondering. Like, do you just see shapes, or do you actually see people?
So I'll explain. When I was really little, after my near-death experience, it's a whole long story. I was at the hospital, Children's Hospital, for like 2 weeks. But going home from that, like Italians all live together. So it was like my grandparents at the bottom, us on top, and then next door was like my uncle, my great-grandmother for a little while. We all lived together. And when I went home, I started seeing a guy in my room. Like, I'm talking full-blown as if you were walking into the room. And at first, I actually thought it was like my mom, to be honest with you, because back then she had like the 80s, very like permed hair, dark. And this person walked in, they had very curly, dark hair, very similar to my mom. So my first thought is like, oh, mom's coming into the room. But when they got closer, it was a guy. So I immediately got scared, would hide under my covers. And this went on for a while until I just had enough of it. And one night I sat up and I was like, why are you in my room? Why do you keep coming in my room? And he sat down next to me and he just smiled and he was like, I'm your Uncle Tommy. And he goes, you got to go talk to your mom. You have to, don't call her mom though. You have to call her by this nickname, because this was my nickname for her. And he's like, tell her what shirt I'm wearing. And basically he gave my mom and my grandmother a message. Wow. So the following morning I told my parents, and my mom was like, I'll never forget her face, because it just dropped. Like, she couldn't believe what I was saying. So the shirt that he was wearing was what he was buried in. It was his favorite shirt. The nickname that I had told her was his nickname for her. He died in that house, tragically, before I was born. So I would have, and I was only 3 or 4 at the time that I relayed the message. So I would have never known anything about him. And that was my first recollection of somebody that I would have seen. And from that point on, my mom knew that I had the same ability as her. Back then, like growing up Italian Catholic, like you don't talk about that stuff. So my grandmother for sure never, I think she took it to her grave that she had the same ability as us, but she would have premonitions. She would see things. She would, and she knew what we were seeing too. She would validate that, but she just didn't want to admit that she had that ability. Wow. My mom, on the other hand, did. And I think it was a relief to her that once I came along, we could talk about it and it wasn't as weird, and she had somebody else, you know, that. Wow. So really, I thank my mom for kind of helping me along in whatever way she could, you know, and to keep it open so that I could do more with it when I got older.
So did you try to fight it when you were like growing up? Because you said you went, like, tried to do different routes like teaching. Mm-hmm. So I know, like, a lot of people who have the ability, you know, stories I've seen, they try to push it out and close it off. Could you do that?
I was never able to shut it off, ever. I also didn't know that I could use it in the way that I'm doing now. I had no idea. Because also back then, too, like, there wasn't a lot, besides what, Sylvia Brown, who was on TV, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was
I see clips about her now.
Right, I know. So it's kind of like, that was the only person I knew back then who was doing this stuff. But then again, I'm like, well, I'm not going to be on the Montel show, and I'm not going to be doing this, you know? So then you try to be normal. And I knew I wanted to help people, you know? And so I went to school for, like, way too many different things. And my dad was a teacher, and he, you know, I loved helping him with things. So I went into teaching, but then within that, I turned to clinical mental health counseling for many different reasons. But, and within my clinicals and stuff, I started realizing that as I was sitting with some of the patients, I was questioning whether or not these people who were diagnosed, say, schizophrenia, things like that, were they actually seeing spirit? And so then I started having trouble with that clinical part of things and like what we were allowed to do and not allowed to do. And that's really what pushed me away from doing that full time, and I just kind of moved into mediumship full time in whatever way I could. Yeah.
Well, so I'm going to ask Nick a question.
Yeah.
Because
she's more interesting.
There's a lot.
Forget about me.
Well,
She's
we're
more
done.
interesting.
There's a lot I need to talk to you guys
No,
about.
her story is compelling, though.
It is. I got
Especially
tears.
the thing
Oh my God.
The thing I just wrote that I sent to you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I should show these guys later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So Nick, you went to UNLV. Did you go for film?
Yes, I did. I graduated higher honors with film degree. Made my first film when I was 24, Cine Vegas Film Festival. Dennis Hopper, when he was alive, he used to own that.
Wow.
My film aired next to Napoleon Dynamite when no one knew what Napoleon Dynamite was back then.
Kidding.
Yeah, and Eraserhead. They played Eraserhead. Remember that film?
Yeah,
Played
absolutely.
that. Dennis Hopper. David Lynch was there. I mean, it was incredible. So from there, I've always had a fascination with spirit, ghosts, UFOs, aliens. I actually got my interest in space-time, UFOs when I was about 13 years old. Area 51. I was that crazy kid.
Yeah.
Looking in 1993 for on the fold-out maps. Remember those? I would look for it. Hey, where's Area 51?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So after that, I just wanted to see if ghosts existed. My grandmother, introduced me to ghosts, abductions, from UFO encounters and stuff like that. So I went on pursuit to try to figure out, can a spirit touch you from the other side? Can something interact? Can you capture and document this type of stuff? And that's how I formed Ghost Adventures. I called 2 other guys I knew at the time, and we hit the roads, all the haunted mining towns, and we just started documenting everything. And that's what it kind of became.
And when did you start with Ghost Adventures? What year was that?
About 2004. At the end of 2004, I saw this show called Sightings that aired on the Sally House. And I remember watching it on TV around Halloween, and it was 2 news reporters that went into the Sally House location, very haunted location, and they filmed this person being scratched down their back, and there was no cuts. You could actually see the scratch marks appeared. That triggered me to say, you know what? I've always loved ghosts, and I've been searching and looking. Wow. So a couple of spring breaks in college, before I graduated, I actually took a trip up to Virginia State, Nevada, saw the haunted locations, Goldfield, all that stuff. I'm like, man, I could just hop in the car with 2 other guys. We could film this kind of excursion and go look for ghosts. And that's kind of how it formed. 2005, started filming everything. 2007, I had a contact, basically cold calling agents from a Hollywood agency book that someone handed to me. And I started calling all these agents to try to figure out who would take Ghost Adventures, the documentary that I made. So then I found one person, went to Mulholland Drive, and it was like something out of Blue Velvet, David Lynch film. Went up there, and I walked into this mansion, and they're like, just walk in when you get there. This agent's telling me on the phone, I don't even know this guy, I never met him. Just walk in the house when you get there. I'll be there soon. Walk in. This girl comes floating down in a robe, and she's like, he'll be back soon. And walks down, I'm like, what is happening? But we ended up showing this person who had a contact to Sci-Fi Channel. It aired in 2007. Did like 1.2 million viewership on cable television back there on a Friday night. And after that, we formulated it from a documentary into a structured series, which was, I didn't know how to do any of this. I didn't even know what a documentary was when I made it. I didn't know how to formulate a series at that time. Just fresh out of college and everything. And then we were just running and gunning, and just that got picked up into a series, Travel Channel in 2008, and 150 episodes later and so on.
You went right. Did you have any thoughts about doing anything other than like what you walked right into, the paranormal? Like, did you want to do like feature films?
Yeah, I was doing that. So that's what I was doing. I loved, my passion, honestly, is film. I love telling a good story through cinematic, ways. Yeah. I think I fell into the documentary style because it just became what it was, 3 guys hitting the road looking for ghosts. And that's kind of how I learned about story structure and telling like something that's compelling and visually and audio. And, I'm an editor at heart. I came up as an editor. I self-taught myself. Fundamental things were interesting in college. You learn and meet people and so on and so forth. I remember being in college and I wrote like a psychological thriller that I was trying to pitch to a director who came to speak at our college. He was a huge director at the time. And I, would run up to him, hey, you got to check out my script, blah, 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 blah. He gives me a card and it's like his number because I was like aggressive about it. And I call him, his secretary's like, you need an agent or lawyer to send this. And I'm like, well, I don't got any of those. He told me to call him. Wow. So, I was one of those people, just passionate.
Holy
and I would just go after it. And I think that's kind of like, a lot of people don't understand. I've done lectures at colleges and high schools and stuff. And a lot of kids that I talk to now, they're like, well, how do you get your start in the industry? I'm like, well, you just go and do it.
Yeah.
You go out there, you make it. If you believe in it first, the money will come second.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell everybody. What are you doing here? Go make something.
Yeah.
So, I did that for a long time, and the door opened slightly for me when I got Ghost Ventures off the ground. About season 10 is when I departed and made Paranormal Lockdown. From there, I did 4 seasons of that, made another show called Ghost Stalkers, and I did a couple of different shows. I produced another show called Vegas Strip. People that probably haven't even heard of, for the Travel Channel. I've done all sorts of different shows and
so
pitches.
Just branching out and doing different things.
Yeah, stuff
that's cool.
What I learned is I typically now, at my point in my life, go after passion projects that I 100% believe in. I have to visualize it because I'm a visionary, so I have to foresee it and understand it to just say, wow, this is huge. It has to be unique. It can't just be another paranormal show or another ghost show or another something that everybody is kind of doing. So that's what we've been doing so far, producing content, teaming up with some really good people, and we're just kind of elevating ourselves that way.
Now you do. I follow you guys on social media. You're doing some really, really big things, and some of your shows are already sold out, correct?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And you're going to Italy, right? Are you going to Italy? Can you talk about some of those things? Because you guys really are a unique team. You're like Ed and Lorraine, right?
That's what people keep saying.
You know what I mean? You're like the new generation. Right. It's so fascinating that you guys came together and you have that common interest. And do you have any abilities as well?
We do this all day to each other. It's funny because people just see us on the TV shows and oh, when the camera's cut, that's it.
Yeah.
And typically with a lot of shows, that is it, with hosts and stuff. They go home and whatever. But with us, 24/7, we're talking paranormal, supernatural, insights, mediumship.
But you have abilities.
All sorts of stuff.
People think he's just, the investigator and the filmmaker. And really, I realized he has a very strong intuition. I don't even know if you realized it fully until
I didn't. I think
years ago.
Noticed it as a kid when I had I fell from a tree and ripped open my whole arm.
Yeah.
Almost died. My mom saved my life. And what I realized after that is all of a sudden I started having these thoughts that would just come to me. And I would remember them, and then all of a sudden it would validate through different experiences in life. Mm-hmm. So I started listening to myself more, the intuition.
Yeah.
As I got older, recently, within the couple of years that, last 6 years or so we've been together, it's been wild. The intuition has just been off the Richter scale. I'll have stuff come to me, and I'll tell her, I'm like, I have to tell you this now. Then something will happen. I'm like, okay, that validates it.
Wow.
And
so do you think it's because you're more open to it? That if you open yourself up more to it and accepting it, that
possibly
it gets...
a little bit of both. But I think her and I have this interesting connection where it raises our vibration in life, in the universe, because we're all made up of energy. Yeah. We produce energy, kinetic energy when we move and so on, electricity. We have the consciousness in our brain that we don't fully understand. But I think her and I together does something different.
Yeah.
And it's interesting.
So when you go to a site, how do you pick? First of all, how do you pick where you want to go? Yeah. And when you go, do you recognize it right away as being something that's worth being there for, or a fraud, or
if it's
you know what I
mean?
mean?
How do you pick them?
Have you come
we do
across
immense research.
Yeah. But we've been taking a lot more cases that involve families and children. Because you'd be surprised. I think that TV focuses a lot on like notorious haunted locations, like big asylums and all these places that are fairly popular.
Yeah, mention.
Yeah, and there's a lot of those places, and of course they're haunted and there's experiences. But I think what people don't understand is what's more relatable and what's going on behind the scenes are things within people's homes.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do people like call you and say, "Hey,
all the time,
all the time,
really? We have something going on here. Would you call
so then,
up?
do you film? Are you?
Yes.
Do you film those things?
Yeah, we're working on a big project right now that's going to be, I feel, one of the biggest projects we've ever done before.
One of the shows that we're currently working on is going to be primarily just families and children and going to their homes and trying to help them with whatever's going on in their house. And we're taking on some of the most severe cases as well. So
like The Conjuring kind of.
Yeah.
In
like
a sense,
things
yeah. We look at all of it from a psychological perspective, you know, because like what you're talking about, when you get there, is it the family that's haunted? Is it the house that's haunting the family? Or is it something more psychological with the family that has some weird energy?
So you have to decipher that before you
decipher
take the
all
case.
of it. Yeah. Well,
sometimes
we don't know, though, either until we get there.
Right.
And you start analyzing it by experience. So we had a family that we investigated for the last couple of years, and we're working on it again because it's such a severe case, and we didn't realize how bad it was with the haunting. We thought it was specifically maybe the mom or somebody else that's raising the haunting happening there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until we started pulling back the layers and documenting full-blown evidence of like knocks on the wall.
Yeah.
So are you staying there? Are you like sleeping there?
We have before. We haven't at this one location, but we've been through the night. We've scoped out the land and so on.
With
like
with this house that he's talking about with this family, when we walked up, it was weird because at first I looked at him and I was like, "Is this a trick?" Because when you walked up to this house, it looked like the Amityville house. And it's in Hamburg, New York. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, God, is he messing with me? Like, are we really going? Is this the Amityville house? But what's odd is, as a medium, I guess from my perspective and being able to feel things, when we walked up to the house, I knew immediately that there was something in the house. It was not the family. It was not just psychological. There's a feeling that you get as a medium when you walk up to a house. There's like a vibration. There's a sound. There's a feeling that you get where you know that something negative is there. And I think I turned to him right away and I was like, this is one of those cases. Yeah. Like, so just prepare yourself because when you walk in, there's definitely something there. And it turned out to be true.
You also said there was a suicide in the barn that took place. So there's an older barn over here that's kind of
Phil's
decrepit.
going like this.
Yeah.
And doing the U-turn.
And then the house that looks like Amityville with the two windows on the front. They moved it about 60 yards from its original spot.
Yeah, they literally lifted the house up and moved it.
Really?
Do you get scared when you do these things?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
is it
like I've slept in for Paranormal Lockdown when I produced that show.
Yeah.
I lived there for 3-4 days, sometimes 5 days. I was in locations for that extensive, and I'll go there and I'll stay there, eat there, and I don't come out. But yes, what I realized is it's the negative energy that still makes me nervous. It's just that that uncertainty of something that can make you feel a certain way, like sick or it gets under your skin or it feels like it's attaching to your spine. I'll have it happen to me a lot where I'll be standing there and then all of a sudden I'll feel like a hand or some imprint on my back where it's moving through your nervous system and your spine to try to like channel through you or control you, and you'll feel your emotions, everything just shift and just get a little bit different and more negative. I don't like that because when you walk away from a location, sometimes it's hard to shake that negativity off of you.
I was just going to ask you,
very hard.
Are you scared
sometimes.
that you're going to take something home?
We're pretty grounded in
we
meaning
take precaution.
We do.
There's things that we do to protect ourselves and to make sure that everything stays where it's supposed to.
But sometimes it can get muddy. You know what I mean? So like picture you're hanging out with some people and you have a horrible negative person who's with you and it's just like constantly depressing or constantly just negativity. We've all experienced that in our life. Phil, you're out.
I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, it's like sunshine over there. But and then you leave and you're like, man, I feel like drained and gross and that person just strained me like.
It's got to be like emotionally more than physically. It's got to be
on your body,
your emotions and your mental state like pulling you
That's how it happens.
It's pulling it out of you.
Yeah, especially when there's kids involved. Because, like, as parents ourselves, you know, when you walk into a location and you know that those kids are scared and that there's things that they're experiencing, you know, you feel obligated to take that on and to help them in whatever way that we can. So it does get very heavy.
Is it always a bad feeling, or have you come
Not
across
always.
people that are experiencing like spirits that are just trying to be contacted?
You do with your
Good
readings
things.
all the
Like
time.
I mean,
Yeah.
like a good, like you had the story about your uncle.
Yeah.
That wasn't a bad. He was trying to say, hey, you know, things are
Right.
okay.
Yeah, and over the years, I've developed the ability to feel the difference. Like, and I think that to any, like, a person who doesn't do this regularly, if a person who in life was like a real a-hole passes away,
Is still
I
the
mean,
same.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably still that, you know, and they carry that personality or the things that maybe they've done. And so to any person, that energy can feel like, oh, I don't like that. But it doesn't mean that it's demonic. It doesn't mean that it's bad.
Have you ever come across a demonic?
Oh yeah. Yeah, like the case we were just talking about. I feel
This
like
case-
it's more
With the kids?
With
At
the
their
kids.
house?
And
yeah,
there
it's more
was
negative, demonic, whatever you want to claim it. I mean, it's tough because when you get into the word demonic, it becomes like a religious thing.
right,
But
right.
I always say it's something that is not good. It's not
Right.
positive. It's not negative. Like
It was an asshole.
People are
Yeah,
positive
it
and
could be-
negative,
it could have
right?
been an asshole. Yeah.
Positive and negative people die
Yeah.
all the time. I've been
Yeah.
in multiple prisons that have had
Yeah.
hauntings. But then there's something different
There
about
is,
a
yeah.
demonic haunting or a negative, like severely inhuman or negative haunting. Is just something about it that knows your thoughts. It knows what you're doing. It knows how to get to you. Through our devices, it will do things in certain ways to manipulate, or you'll hear the knocking, 3 knockings on the wall. You know, you'll hear like this kind of weird provocation of like kind of like religious, you know, stuff that you
Yeah.
can get into. Growls, weird smell. Just
So are the
different.
kids, is it just the kids the one?
All of them,
So
yeah.
the whole entire, now will this be part of your reality show or no?
No, that's a different. So we're doing
Okay.
2 things. We're doing a family show that they're going to be following us with Brandon TV. They're going to be following
So
us.
when
around the
would you
family
think
show.
this will start to
Oh,
come
we're,
out?
We're starting right away. So in June we're going to
yeah.
start filming.
It'll hopefully be out by the end of the year. It'll be
So
airing.
what do you have a name for that?
No, yeah, we
Not
can't
yet.
say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so this will be mainly focused on the kids and the families, the hauntings in their house.
Yeah,
Right.
a
That'll
little
be
more severity of what's happening to try to help with this kind of dark force that's
Wow,
at work
that's
here.
that's
Yeah.
interesting. That's
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
that's not
it's-
on now,
There's nothing-
right?
You don't
There's
see
nothing
it,
like that
You don't see it
that's
that
been on
often
for-
No.
anymore. Everybody thinks of
Or
Ed
it's a
and Lorraine.
movie or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
They
Ed
think
and
of Ed
Lorraine.
and Lorraine Warren, and which you know really they were the first couple to
Yeah.
truly go out there
Yeah.
with mediumship, and then you know Ed being the investigator, the demonologist.
Yeah.
And so even though I don't think that we're exactly that, I guess we're the next couple to,
Yeah.
to be doing this type of stuff in the way that we are trying to help.
Yeah, and it's funny because we
families.
didn't plan it that way. It just
No.
kind of
Right.
happened.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and we've been doing this even prior to that concept.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we were doing
Right.
it like on Deathwalker, we shot 80 episodes. A
Yeah.
lot of it around Western New York.
Right.
In one of those episodes, we did investigate part of the house. So I think with what we're doing, conceptually, it just kind of fell in place.
Yeah.
You know,
But
regardless
that's
of the
something
nature.
very different for you guys
Yeah.
to do. And then what about now? This is so cool. The reality
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
So it's basically going to let people see what we're really like. Like I think people have a misunderstanding.
Like
as
24/7
24/7.
cameras in your house?
Yeah, because I mean,
No way.
we are like somewhat normal, right? I think.
Yeah.
And then there's like the part of
Are
us
we?
that's not.
Oh no!
The
I
somewhat
think we're crazy.
normal.
Kind of like we did career day at our kids' school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
we
Yeah,
were
you-
the weirdos. We were
You got
Yeah.
the baker,
Like the Addams
the
family?
police
Yeah,
officer,
yeah.
and then there's us over here.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I would tell all the kids, "You like Wednesday Addams?
Yeah.
This is the real life
Yeah.
Wednesday," and they loved
Wow.
it. They loved
Yeah.
it. I had the geopore and the audio devices, and everyone like
Yeah.
the kids were like, "Oh my gosh!"
And
What
you
are your
communicate."
kids-
Our
What do
kids
your
have
kids-
abilities.
I saw two
Oh,
of
yeah.
your children out of the 5, right? Now have
I think 2 of them have a very strong ability, very similar to what I have. And then the others are in tune and they experience things. You know, we're just not 100. We're not sure really.
Yeah, they all have. Some
They all
sort
have
of
something, but
ability.
I know for sure my 2 boys, my oldest boy and my youngest boy, they have the exact same ability as me.
So it'll be the whole entire family. When is this reality show going to come out?
We're working on
We're
that
doing
one now
it
too.
the same time as the other.
So are you? When will you start filming that? Because you'll have cameras in your house 20.
Either May or June. We're working on it now because they're going to kind of cross each other over with what we're working on. So there's a lot of like moving parts that we're doing right now.
God, that is so cool.
Plus all of our events.
We'll be watching that.
I have just so many questions.
I know.
For you because
I'm sorry,
and
Phil,
I got to talk to you when we're done.
I know.
There's so many things I want to talk to you about.
Yes.
But I'm big. I love Civil War stuff, and I love going to Gettysburg and things like that. And they do, they do all these things, especially down there. But these battlefield things, and you always run into people that say, "Well, we saw something walking across the battlefield." And I've been reading a lot more about Gettysburg lately. But anyway, point is this: do you think like people are just those people that were there are lost, or that's where they were and that's what they know and they just want to be, or they just don't rest, or
there's
you know
more
what
than
I mean?
one answer. Yeah, we just went there. We were just there.
I love Gettysburg.
And we have a really crazy story that I think you'd be interested in.
I mean, I love being down there. I've been there.
Next time you go, you got to check out across from Jenny Wade's house.
Right,
is the old orphanage, and we just investigated both of those.
Is Jenny Wade the only?
She was the
that
first.
Was killed?
She was the first one who got shot through the door. Right, and it struck her.
Right,
in the shoulder.
I knew that.
Yeah,
and I mean, it's just a remarkable.
Yeah, but the orphanage across the street, a lot of people know the history about.
Right,
they think just an orphanage, it's old, it's haunted. No, there's such a deep. Actually, a little bit darker in nature history.
That was not intended. When we went there, we had no idea what we were walking into.
Really?
I'll answer your first question first very quickly, but I don't think that like the soldiers and the people who died in battle that they're trapped necessarily. But if you think about it, when something tragic happens in a location or on the land, you could think of it like muddy footprints that are being left behind of the situation. So there's something like a residual haunting. And then there's an intelligent haunting. So the residual is kind of like a reel just playing over and over, like a film reel. Like, you'll see the soldiers walking. Some people hear things from battle. And that to me is residual. That's like just a muddy footprint that was left behind from the past. And then there's the intelligent hauntings where maybe the spirits have a reason that they're lingering behind, and you see that a lot with like when I do criminal cases, missing persons, typically spirits will kind of linger because they want their case to be heard and they want justice for what took place, and then they tend to move on. So there's residual hauntings and there's intelligent hauntings. And so I think with Gettysburg, a place like that, there's probably a mixture of both. When we went there, though, I had no idea what we were walking into. We went into the orphanage, and I didn't know the story behind it. I had no idea. And luckily, we had a priest with us, Father Bob, who worked with Ed and Lorraine Warren. And so we were with the Warrens, Nesper, the people who were with the Warrens legacy. So Father Bob was with us. And when I walked into the orphanage, I kept picking up on a little boy. And I turned to Father Bob and I said, "There's a little boy here, but he doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like a little boy." And he didn't say anything to me. He said, "Just keep telling me what you're picking up on." So as we kept walking, I kept hearing these sounds and I kept seeing him run and do little things. And then he kind of jumped down into like this underground area into the basement. I had no idea of the story of what would have taken place there, not a clue. And then I remember the little boy flipped around and I saw his face and it was not a little boy. So I looked at Father Bob. I was like, there's something in here that's dark and negative, and it's trying to trick us and trick other people into thinking that it's a little boy, but it wants us to go down into the basement.
Wow.
So he pulls me aside. He goes, "Well, do you know what's going on?" And I said, "No." He goes, "I have to perform an exorcism down in that basement because somebody used a Ouija board and brought something in here."
Oh my God, I was going to ask you about
that's
a Ouija
demonic.
board.
So that led into our investigation.
Yeah.
And when we went into the investigation that night, Nick was using his recorder. He asked a lot of questions. Me and Father Bob sat together, and Father Bob looks at me and he goes, "Is it back there?" And I said, "Yes, it's right behind Nick." And so Father Bob started reading scripture in his mind, and he had his rosary, and he started telling it to get back and to like basically trying to say, warning it that he was going to perform an exorcism. He comes back out of there, plays the recorder back, and you hear it mocking Father Bob and saying, "Back, demon, back, get back." It was mocking what Father Bob, and he didn't even know that Father Bob was reading scripture or doing anything to it. Wow. So that was like a wild investigation.
Then he started doing the exorcism on the location to try to suppress it and push it back. So he's doing his thing, and as he's throwing his holy water on my recorder, I was playing back as we were going. You could hear growling happening over the Latin part. When he's speaking in Latin, you could hear just
and
going.
This is across from Jenny Wade's house.
Yes.
Yeah, the old orphanage.
Does any of that freak you out, or you're so used to it now? It's just
no,
like,
it does. So it does, like, going back to that negative energy and just that, like, really bad feeling, something kind of lurking, because it gets a little bit dangerous when you can have that attachment kind of linger with you, I feel. Because it's not like that. It's not like your typical cliche movie where all of a sudden you're possessed.
Right.
And,
you
know, you're puking green blood and it's The Exorcist.
That was the scariest movie I ever saw, The Exorcist. I think I was like 12 years old.
I've been
My
to
mother let me watch it.
The original house. So The Exorcist is based on a little boy, and part of his life, it's a progression. So it doesn't just happen where you're possessed. The TV and everything has made it that way. There's like 5 stages to get to that possession stage, right? Which is the worst. But it starts a lot with depression and oppressive and all that stuff. It goes through the stages.
Breaks you down.
So you're open to it to come in because you're weak and
it'll break you down. It'll
so
break
you just
got to
be careful allowing it to linger with you, because I feel over time that could fall into depression. You won't even know it either. You could get a flat tire in your car. A window could fall off randomly, like in your house. Like, you just don't know. Things will start happening and getting to you and stripping you back, because there is no time elements where that thing is working.
Right.
So with us, we have time, the notion of time. We create the notion of time because it doesn't exist, as human beings. So eventually this thing will figure out a way how to get to you and break you down and try to take a hold of you, because it wants to take whatever it's looking for from your body, your aura, your energy, your soul,
So
we got to talk about the devils.
We have
we got to talk about the devils.
We got to have you guys on a few times to get all our questions in, because
it's crazy.
But tell us, you have a film coming out at the West Herr Riviera
Yep.
Theater
can we tell
in
them
North
who's in it?
Man of the hour.
You don't have to say anything about it.
Phil, you are amazing. Honestly.
I wanted to thank you. I was very fortunate to get up.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So
with the time we have left, the Devil's Wife?
We took that on, though, specifically because of what we've been talking about. We initially started this because we were investigating with 2 twin brothers, and the one brother wrote a book. And so we're investigating just a haunted location. I get the book in my hands and I realize it's about one of the brothers and things that had happened to him. And I looked and I walked up to him and I'm like, why are you in these locations investigating and filming this when this is what you should be filming? Like, this is a very compelling story. And so we took his story. We wanted to create a film around it to talk about it, but then also use it as an opportunity to help him, because he has an attachment like that. Wow. And he went through levels of almost possession throughout his life and fought addiction and things like that. And so we took the opportunity not only to put it into a film, but also to help him.
Yeah, the interesting part about this whole story, how it came forth into our hands, was like a couple years prior, I think 2 years prior, I was like, I want to make this film. I was working on another film, right? I was writing one out based on some paranormal things that have happened. And she's like, it's not the one yet. So she over here is cutting down. She just was like, that's not the one. But then it made sense in that moment. We were in West Virginia in a haunted hospital with these guys. And she gets the book, right, handed to her.
How did you get, who handed you the book?
It was another guy that was working with.
One of the guys who was filming for him, he had the book and he was like, oh, did you know that Joel had a book? And like, here, you could read it if you want. And he just kind of passed it to me.
And I was kind of in the zone of the location. I saw it and I was like, cool, I'll check it out later, right?
I had like 5 minutes downtime before we started filming again. And I just read the intro. That's all I did. I just opened it up. I read the intro and I was like,
she turned to me and she comes to me later and she's like, this is what you're supposed to be. This is what you're supposed to make. Wow. So then what I did is I worked with Joel, which is one of the twin brothers. There's Joel and Scott Klingsmith. So Joel, I talked in lengths with him and I just understood more of like what happened. Mm-hmm. So there's only so much in the book, right? He left out a bunch of other like things. I think he just rewrote the book. Another version's coming out for the premiere. More in depth. And we talked in lengths and I'm like, I want to option your book and make it into a documentary film, but more cinematically to tell your story from age 6 all the way up into present time.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt it was so unique when I started diving in and putting the structure together by adapting it.
Yeah.
And what I learned was, wow, this story is not just another paranormal cliche like, Paranormal Activity or the Conjuring films, or it's like kind of derivative on The Haunting or derivative on that kind of structure. I'm like, this is relatable to humans that have gone through addiction, abuse, stuff as children, dysfunctional families, being vulnerable to the point where there's now this negative attachment, paranormal activity in the house. No one's believing the paranormal activity is happening, me and the mother, and they're trying to shun it away from the two twins experiencing this. This story is so compelling. It has everything. And to me, that was like, wow. Every time I sit down, I'm like, I've been editing away on the scenes and stuff, and I'm just learning this is probably one of the most unique films I've done since I did Ghost Adventures.
Now, how long is this? How long
it's going to be about an hour 30 minutes.
Oh, so it's a full feature film.
Yeah, I'm about hour 10 minutes.
And then it's going to be premiering at
the Riviera Theater,
May 23rd.
May 23rd.
How does Phil know all this information? May 23rd. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be. I love Lilydale.
Oh yeah.
Now you guys both are going to be there as well, right?
Yeah.
So people can go just follow you on Instagram or on your website.
Facebook.
Yeah.
And you guys now combined your YouTube channel together.
Yep.
Can you just quickly talk about that real quick?
Yeah, we have we have a lot coming up. The other thing too that is I think you'll really like is we have a show airing this Friday, the 24th.
Yep.
It's called Live with the Other Side. It's airing on Brandon TV. There's already a free episode on Brandon TV. We did his show called Obsessed. You could watch it. It has a lot of really fun things that we did, and we talk about a lot of what we have coming up. But Live with the Other Side, it's about near-death experiences. We bring on people with near-death experiences, a doctor who studies it. And then I do a live gallery reading at the end. So that airs this Friday.
Yeah, Brandon TV. You can download the app on your iPhone, Androids. You can watch it pretty much on every application.
We will be in Lilydale the 29th. We're going to be doing a big workshop, and then we're going to be doing a show later on, and I'll be doing readings as well in Lilydale.
That is so cool.
And, we have a lot of
When are you
events.
in Lilydale?
August 29th.
And then you're going to Italy, and people will actually
come with us.
All your fans will follow you to Italy for, and what will you be doing there? Can we? Yeah. Well, listen, I'll hold the mic.
We're going to Venice.
I'll be your assistant.
We're going to take Rich on the road.
Is this the
with
first time you've ever done something out of the country, or no? You do this all the
together,
time?
yes.
Together.
Because we're going to be
and then we're doing the
in
United
Italy,
Kingdom.
and then we go to the United Kingdom.
Holy
after that.
moly!
But I haven't been back to the United Kingdom for their Paracon. It's going to be awesome. Lost Souls Paracon in the United Kingdom, and basically I haven't been back there since Paranormal Lockdown when I filmed there.
He hasn't been back to Italy since he filmed for Ghost Adventures Poveglia Island, which is...
That's because he's not Italian.
That's because he's not Italian.
We just found out Nick was not Italian.
Not full Italian.
Scottish.
7%.
Tessa, are you going to keep him now?
10%.
My mother kicked him to the kids' table, so we'll keep him.
Boy. Wow. Should have seen that one coming, though.
I know, right? But Italy's going to be cool. We're going to start in Venice and go into like Florence, kind of Tuscany area, go all the way down into Rome. There's going to be like the islands, like Poveglia Island. There's an island called Lazaretto that has tales of vampires and things like that. Wild. We're doing like catacombs, all sorts of haunted and supernatural locations.
And it's a small group too. We're taking only a
like
small group.
Really?
Yeah, about 20, 25 people. And then we're just going to go on this excursion.
That is
and we're going to film it probably too.
You guys are everywhere. You guys got so much going on.
Yeah. We just don't have enough time at
the
moment.
Oh my God!
But we will definitely have you guys back on. I mean, there's so much to talk about here.
Just so interesting.
And it's remarkable all the things that you guys have done and are going to do.
I have one more question though.
Go.
Yeah.
Because you guys are so huge now, how do you handle that? Like people obviously recognize you.
Yeah. I think
right.
We're just
how do you
I mean, we're pretty much chill. We talk to everybody. Yeah. Yeah, I think the only aggressive time was when I was in Vegas and I come out and I was shooting like Ghost Ventures and someone's like, "Man, it's nice to meet you." I just came off the stall. I'm like, "Let me wash my hands first." Holy crap! I've had people come up to me like, these big, huge events like.
I mean, right here in Niagara Falls. They're right here in Niagara Falls.
Penhurst Paracon that we're going to next month. It is like over 10,000 people and
where's
like
that?
Coming to see you.
Well, there. I mean, come to see a lot of people there,
but yeah.
Our line never ends.
Our line
Her
never
gallery
ends.
being sold out.
And where's that one at?
It's right outside of
Right
Philadelphia.
outside Philadelphia,
Springville, I think.
Pennsylvania.
So you guys are
It's an amazing
traveling,
event.
working
Yeah.
nonstop.
But I've
Yeah.
had crazy stuff like that, you know, like people come up with their
Yeah.
baby in their hand, sign my baby's
Yeah,
forehead,
yeah.
or like weird stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, but no, everyone's pretty cool. Everyone's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's
We're chill.
amazing.
We're low,
Yeah.
okay with everything.
And usually we have, we're out, we have the kids, but people are respectful.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we do love to really meet people. Like, it's really cool because, like, without them, we don't have a show. And we
Right,
don't have
right,
people watching
right,
us.
right.
And so
right, absolutely.
we-
Yeah.
The support is awesome.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, we want to thank both of you
Oh
for
my God,
coming
thank
on.
you so much for
It
saying that. I love
is
it.
what a great show,
Amazing.
and we're just scratching the surface with you guys.
Yeah.
But we appreciate it, and thank you both for coming on.
Yeah,
Don't
get out there
forget,
to watch The Devil's Mark.
Devil's
Yes.
Mark,
Devil's
May
Mark.
23rd, West Herr Riviera
Yes.
Theater.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
is the first showing of this
Yeah,
film,
and it's a
Yeah.
haunted theater.
Yeah.
So
and it is
come for the experience, because I'm telling you, the sound in that theater and the picture quality is amazing. It's definitely an
I
experience.
love
to come.
going to the Riviera. It's a
And I
great
think
theater.
if you're in the Detroit area, Michigan area, I just heard we're gonna release in a drive-in theater too.
Oh, cool.
Oh, my
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
So you're the first to hear about this. Coming
Wow.
up. So we're
That's
working on that
remarkable.
too.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
But
I
thank
just got
you
that
both
word
for
today.
coming on.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you
That's
both for
perfect for
coming
the
on. We'll
drive-in.
see you on May 23rd because I definitely
All
will.
right.
Red carpet
Yes,
walking.
thank you
Yes.
so
right.
much.
And thank you for having me in that. I
Oh my
I
God,
really
thank you so much.
it was fun doing it. It was
You were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well.
Phil
I
makes
don't
a
know
good
about that.
priest.
If all else fails, become a priest.
Yeah, well,
because you do
I don't know about that.
No, my reservation. After
He only plays one on
after we're
TV.
done,
Trust me.
After we're done here, and I tell you these other things, you're gonna say, "Yeah, your reservations are made in the hot day."
We're gonna blush you, then you're
You're
gonna go to
Yes.
Sabres game, and it's
Yeah.
gonna
You're
get
going
crazy.
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Thank you both
Oh
again.
my God, thank you
Cindy,
so much. Philly.
good to see you.
Nice to see you as always.
What do we always say? Tee it up with Phil and
Yeah.
Cindy. Don't forget.
Yeah, like
Follow
and
us.
subscribe, yeah.
Subscribe. It's
Yes.
what? Free to subscribe.
Yeah, my favorite F word.
don't-
Yes.
You definitely want to see me go down that slide, right?
Yes.
The slide if we get 1,000
Yep.
subscribers, right?
Slip
There
and
you go.
slide.
She's-
And Philly in
she's-
a Speedo.
I don't know
Oh,
about
yeah.
the speedo. But anyways, thank you both.
Thank
That's
you.
it for
So
Tee It Up
exciting.
with Phil and
Tee
Cindy.
it up.
Go Sabres.
Let's go.
See ya. O glorious Prince of the heavenly host, Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in this battle and in the terrible warfare we wage against the principalities and the powers, against this world of darkness, against this terrible evil. Come to the aid of man